Hey everybody, welcome back to another exciting episode of Stash Report from Stash Project. Today is May 24th, 2021, and we have clarification of a couple things from Aoshima, as well as their July spot runs, quite a few of them actually. And then we have a few kit releases from Japan this week, and yeah, that'll be it. So on the clarification side of things, if you will, just a broadening of information, the uh, upcoming Toyota 2000 GT, the 69 knee 1971, because 1970 there are only a few of those cars made. Considering the fact there are only 237 of them made total, most of them, were made in the sort of 66, 67, 68 time range. But at any rate, that kit, again, confirming that it is going to have separate chrome pieces for things like the window surrounds and the headlight surrounds, or I should say the driving light surrounds, because again, the headlights are flip-up headlights on that car. And then it's going to have new tires that are new to that kit, so they're not going to be recycling some old tire. And then they've also announced that they're going to be doing a detail upset for it. And I'm not exactly sure what you detail up that car with very much, in the sense of maybe doing the scripts in PE or something of that nature. The Hasegawa kits scripts come on like a metal transfer sheet, so it's possible they're going to do something like that with it. Maybe some vents, maybe the faces to the brake rotors and things like that. But it'll be interesting to see what that will include. The second item would be the upcoming Pagani Zonda. Recall that was part of our Shizuoka show coverage as well. That should be coming up for pre-order in just a few days. They're announcing a September release for that, and right now we've already had the August announcements from Aoshima back at the beginning of this month. So basically the beginning of next month should some point in time be when those pre-orders come up, and of course we'll tell you the exact week that they come up. But that kit again has a September release. They haven't mentioned any sort of detail upset for that, but it would not surprise me in any way, shape, or form if there isn't one that Aoshima does, in-house, as it were, rather than having to get like a Hobby Design or Studio 27 type of deal. I'm sure Hobby Design will do one once the kit has been released into the rest of the Asian market. But in the meantime, yes, September for your Zonda, so plan your modeling budget accordingly if you're so interested in that car. Now we have the July spot runs. This is a big list of things here, but all these kits, again, are just a restock. None of these things have anything new in them, so we're just going to plow through them real quick here. So, reissue of the 2011 Subaru Sambar in its World Rally Blue Metallic version, reissue of the 82 Nissan Silvia Super Silhouette race car, reissue of the 1971 Nissan Skyline GTR, reissue of the 2010 Impreza WRX STI. I believe that kit has been tweaked in a way now that you can build an 07 or a 10 out of it, so you can build either or of the 2 years they offered of that back in that time period. Reissue of the 2004 Nissan Skyline R34 Nismo Z-Tune, reissue of the 1977 Toyota Celica 2000 GT, reissue of the 1970 Skyline GTX, reissue of the 77 Skyline GTES, reissue of the 86 Nissan Leopard Ultima, reissue of the 1991 Toyota Hilux Surf, and we'll always mention that, of course, still does have the left-hand drive parts in it to make a 4Runner. Of course, there are still not any 4Runner decals in it. Reissue of the 91 Toyota Crown Majesta, reissue of the 1990 Toyota Istima Twin Roof, reissue of the 2015 Toyota Crown Royal Saloon, reissue of the 2005 Toyota Alphard Silk Blaze VIP van, reissue of the 2007 Mitsubishi Evo 10 Sea West Tuner Edition, reissue of the 78 Toyota Hilux Custom, that's the older body style Hilux in the lowrider pickup truck boxing, reissue of the 2002 Nissan GTR R34 Mines Tuner Edition, reissue of the 85 Hilux Custom, so this is the newer version of the Hilux, again in its lowrider version, reissue of the 1998 Toyota Chaser Toyota Racing Development boxing, reissue of the 1995 Hilux lift up. So this is the newer-ish version of the Hilux. Basically, it shares a lot of the parts with the Hilux Surf and the Hilux four-door that was sold, everywhere but here. The regular Hilux pickup truck. Anyway, that's going to be in the lift-up versions. That's going to be the one on the big jacked-up suspension. Reissue of the 1999 Mazda FD3S RX-7 in the RE Amemiya boxing, reissue of the Liberty Walk Japan 4-door, of course that's the 4-door late 80s version of the Liberty Walk car, Liberty Walk Laurel 130, and the Liberty Walk GTR Coyote's Choice, which is the tribute to the 1968 Japanese Grand Prix race car. Reissue of the 2011 Lamborghini Aventador, reissue of the 2009 Lamborghini Murcielago Superveloce, and then 4 19-inch wheel sets. You've got the Volk TE37s, the Volk CE28Ns, the Enkei NTO 3 Plus Ms, and the Racing Heart Type CRs. So that, fine folks, is the upcoming restock reissues of the folks at Aoshima. Quite a few things there, actually. Quite a number of kits, but must be just that summer restock period where everybody's off of school and everything like that. So we have releases this week from Aoshima and Hasegawa. We'll do the Aoshima stuff first, alphabetical order, and plus it's just a couple of things here. So first up, the last of the May new kits, if you will. These are getting just minor reboxes, and that is the Honda Beat RS Mach tuner version. Not a lot to write home here about in terms of this, because again, it is something that's just being reboxed into a slightly tweaked, different box art. This was, one of the first, I want to say first year worth of the Tune Model car reissues anyway, so it's been around and it's not that hard to find, but it's another, again, rebox tooling was based back in 1991, 1992, depending on what parts of the kit you're talking about. A lot of the other stuff was added in 2002, including the RS Mach parts, and really the only things that make up this kit, specifically the RS Mach body kit, if you will, is the front valance, the lift spoiler, the wheels, and the exhaust. The rest of this kit carries over from various other Honda Beats they've done in the past. So just a few little bits and pieces on that one. And then we got 4 of the 19-inch wheel sets this week, and they are the SSR Professor MS3s, the SSR Professor SP3s, the SSR Professor SP1s, and the SSR Executor CV01s. So all designed to be primarily used with the VIP wheel or VIP cars that Aoshima makes, but of course, a 19-inch wheel, so they fit on anything that'll hold a 19-inch wheel. Over at Hasegawa, we have one just strictly restock reissue, and that is this, the 1971 Safari Rally winning Datsun Fairlady 240Z. So this is pretty much the OG version of the 240Z tooling that Hasegawa did. I believe this rally version came out before the first street version came out. They've putting cartograph decals in it the last several reissues. I have one that was done about 2 years ago, and when this was basically refreshed and reissued with the cartograph stuff. So that continues on. It's a neat little kit just because it's sort of a four-wheel, it's not a four-wheel drive car, but it's like sort of a 4x4 stanced 240Z. It's the only one of those that sort of exists in that format, so it's just a cool kit in general. And then over on the newer, if you will, kits that are coming out for the month of May. First up, you have this, which is the Brunn Racing Porsche 962C from the 1987 Spa Francorchamps. This is the World Endurance Championship version of Spa, not the 24 hours of Spa. Let me pull backwards in my book here because we're on July to tell you where this thing finished. Finished third in that race, so one of the podium cars. There were a few things about this, looking at the direction, looking at pictures of a box art car, let alone other pictures of the real car, that again, this falls into that weird Hasegawa thing where they did one 962C. It's the Jost car. They measured that specific chassis number and that specific car, and they've made all of their other 962Cs pretty much based on that one chassis number. So that means that not all of the cars, and we've talked about this before, are exactly what you would call prototypically correct to the boxings that they've been doing on. They do have a couple of different rear spoiler versions, and this does come with the more European style rear spoiler compared to the one that they ran in Japanese sports car prototype series. So that's a nice thing to see. But just sort of looking at the kit itself, there's a couple of real obvious glaring tweaks that need to be made, including the front winglets that are on the car. If you go rewind back to the box art, you notice there are winglets down below the headlight in front of the front wheels. Those don't exist as any piece or part in the kit. They give you a template to cut it out of what they're recommending as 0.2 millimeter sheet stock. They do not include any 0.2 millimeter sheet stock with the kit, so you get to provide your own sheet stock. And that really is only going to give you, the wedge, the side of the wedge. You'd still have to come up with something that replicates the curve of the front body right there that also, you know, allows that to seat, you know, in there. It's any winglet, any canard has, you know, obviously a vertical face that actually bolts to the body, and that isn't going to be made when you just make the plane of the dive plane. So a little bit of work there to make that one look right, or you could not care. It would be very interesting to do this in general, because the way the layout of these decals are set up, that red trim that runs around the front bumper is a decal, and then there are word decals, a Bosch logo, and a couple other things that go underneath the winglet, and the winglet is bolted on top of that. So you're going to have to sort of, and if you're one of the people that clear coats your race cars, whether or not that's prototypically correct for the era of the race car, you're going to have to apply the decals, clear coat the car, and then mount that winglet to it. So keep that in mind. The decals do go down first. They are not cut to fit around the winglet. I mean, I guess you could, and hope nobody notices, but that winglet is bolted over top of everything there, rather than it being a you know, a slit in the decal or something like that. The words are separate from the red part, so just something to keep in mind if that type of thing interests you. Then over here to the Suzuki Jimny J71 JCU with a custom front grille. So this is a straight reissue of their Suzuki Jimny line. This just has a new resin front grille piece. The resin, that's more of a Suzuki sidekick kind of front grille, or the later Suzuki Jimnys that ran the sort of Jeep style vertical front grille piece. It was not a factory stock piece on the 1980s Jimnys, so they've just added a resin grille. I believe the existing headlights fit it, so there's no new parts in it other than the resin grille. And then the last kit for this week is the modified reissue for the month, and that is this, the 1989 Toyota Supra AZ70 GT Twin Turbo. The only sole newly tooled piece for this kit is the front bumper. The front bumper is a different intake on it than the 1988 version, the original street car version of this that came out. You do use a different set of mirrors in here, a different steering wheel, different mirror faces, but those kit parts were already in that first version of the Supra. You just didn't use them, so now you're using this in this version. Hasegawa's been really, really good for this. If you watch this show on a weekly basis where they release a new version and they'll throw a set of decals in it, and then you have to really pay attention to what part numbers you're using in the callouts, because there's like 8 steering wheels and 5 bumpers and 3 grills and all that sort of stuff in the box, and you have to piece together all of the tooling that was done for the kit to make that specific version that you're building. That Supra is not quite that bad because, again, it does have a new front bumper, but you do, again, have to pay attention to the part callouts, because in like some circumstances you do have 2 mirrors and 2 sets of steering wheels and things like that. And I mean, it's not going to be the end of the world by a stretch of imagination if you use the wrong steering wheel, but it's very easy to accidentally use the wrong steering wheel. Speaking from personal experience, the last time I built a BMW Z4, I painted up and tried to use the wrong set of wheels in the kit, and that's a pretty basic thing because the 2 wheel patterns don't look anything alike. But even with that, I went ahead and spray painted and detail painted the wrong set of wheels, and then I had to go back and spray paint and re-detail the correct set of wheels. So if it's easy enough to do a set of wheels, something that is very, very prominent in the outside of the kit, it's very easy to oops, the wrong steering wheel, or oops, the wrong shifter, or whatever into place. So that, guys, I believe is what is going on this week. So I hope you guys had a great weekend. We should be back on Memorial Day for the last show of the week, or the month rather, and then we will be back again shortly thereafter for the June compilation video. So more multi-video goodness next week, and we'll see you guys on the other side.